good evening and welcome to another episode of Talk That Get Results. I'm Webbo Herbert, and as per usual, we're here every Tuesday evening with something that at least we think is of community interest and or some concern. And if you think that you have something which fits into that category, you'd like to find out how you can be a part of the program, well, why don't you drop us a line, address it to the Let's Talk program in K of Vaughan Radio, P.O. Box 195 Charlestown in Nevis. So give us a call. Our numbers are 1-869-469-1616 and 01700. Here's a suggestion. You have a question or comment, perhaps you can get a pencil, piece of paper, write it down so that you're well organized and you're getting on the show. You take as little time as possible so that we can accommodate as many of you as we can. We ask only, first of all, respect yourselves, and then respect others, because we'll not accept anything we deem that's not within our broadcast standards. But we encourage you to always be forceful with your point. Thank you all again for joining us, your voice in the community, Talk That Get Results. You can also follow our live video stream of this program on our Facebook page at Vaughan Radio and our YouTube channel of Vaughan Radio. Click subscribe. Tonight we have two segments of the program. First segment, we'll be speaking about the internationally famed Nevis Mango Festival. Two gentlemen are here who know all about it, and we'll hear of the 2024 edition. Fionn Jones, good evening.
Good evening, Webbo. Thank you for having me. As you say, we're going to speak about the Nevis Mango Festival, which is now internationally known. I'm very excited about that.
And you have along with you a super heavyweight, and
yes.
Last time you were here, Fionn, I believe you sat over there.
Yes.
So you've been a little demoted.
Yeah, he took my chair. Imagine that. He took my chair.
So let us know who he is.
He is the head consultant for the 2024 Nevis Mango Festival. We are celebrating 10 years. He comes with a wealth of experience from being the head of Carnival, working with Carib. He has done many jobs and stints with the Ministry of Tourism, training, etc., both in St. Kitts Nevis and overseas, internationally. We have with us tonight Mr. Noah Mills.
Good night, Webbo. Good night, and I feel so alive being here. You've taken the opportunity to invite me for quite a bit, and it took Mr. Fionn Jones to light the fire and get me in your studio once again, since about what, maybe 2019 perhaps?
Yeah, maybe before that.
Okay. It's a pleasure. It's my pleasure being here.
Yeah, but you see, my guys credit me with a guy who can make his point with few words. All those words you use, if I were to say the same thing in reference to me and my invitation, I'll just say open confession is good for the soul.
Okay, my friend. Okay.
Right, so Noah, it's good to have you. I promise the rest of the panel all the time that one of these days you'll be with us to discuss, a lot of social topics and stuff like that. And, the invitation is still there. Nothing happens before it's time.
And I appreciate it, and I look forward to being here.
Yeah, and I got great patience. Now, to the issue at hand. Go ahead, make your case, and then, I'll jump in.
Okay, I guess I would love to start. So yes, we're here to speak about the Nevis Mango Festival. This year we are celebrating 10 years of the Nevis Mango Festival. But just to back up a bit, the Nevis Mango Festival has been going for 9 years strong. From my understanding, it would have started in Charlestown with about 10 chefs. One of the interesting things about the Nevis Mango Festival, it has always moved around Nevis. From Charlestown, it was over at Oli, and this is the big Sunday event, and then it was at the Malcolm Gishard Park. But essentially the festival would have expanded, and it's 3 days for, I guess, last year being the 9th year and a couple of years before that, and it has moved around, as I said, from Dewdrops, Mount Nevis, many places it has touched, and essentially for the 10th year, that is what we are planning to do again, touch many places in Nevis as we are trying to spread the Mango Festival love. I think the 10th year is going to be very special, given that last year we've had such an increase, a significant increase in numbers, and it took us back to drawing board, and now I think we're coming back even bigger, better and stronger. I just want to say that for last year we would have done many things given the explosion in numbers, and we came to the public, we apologize, and we put a lot of remedy into position to fix a lot of the issues we would have had last year. Apart from apologizing, we had the open for persons who had an experience that wasn't the best to come in. They came in, we have names, and we have since reissued tickets to them for this year. And going further, we're going to speak about a lot of the solutions that we have for the 10th year celebration. In addition to that, we're going to speak to a lot of the improvements that we have for the 10th year celebration, and we're going to speak about what's new for the 10th year celebration. So if I'm saying anything, I want to encourage and invite everyone to come out to the 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival. I can promise you, given what we've seen in the office, all of the work that we've been doing, that this year promises to be the best mango festival to date.
And it's when?
It is from the 4th of July to the 7th of July. An additional day has been added, so the festival is now 4 days this year.
My observation is you're gonna have the best in years. Are we going to have the best crop in years? Because I don't see a lot of mangoes. Unless I'm not where the mangoes are.
Just for curiosity and clarifying the accent, you said crop.
Yes.
Just to make sure.
Yeah. Because I added I don't see a lot of mangoes.
Well, actually,
this is May.
Well, let me firstly, before I answer that question and address that, let me thank the NTA for engaging me and my team. I have a team of another kitchen and 5 divisions working closely in an advisory capacity, and we were engaged in March of this year going forward to ensure that we could improve the overall product, and we have seen that it's an excellent product. It continues to expand and is now internationally acclaimed. The NTA has actually reached out and they've had discussions with the Ministry of Agriculture, and the experts, the specialists there have said that the mere fact that you are not seeing any mangoes right now is a good thing, because yes, it suggests that according to the maturing and the ripening stage, they will be coming around in a bountiful population in and around maybe ending of middle to June, July, thereabout, and that's the perfect time for the Mango Festival.
Including, might I ask, and this might be a light moment, but that's okay because that's where that thing is born, right here in the light moment. Including, I had a mango tree. A fellow went and cut it down, so that will spring back and be in time for July.
If you've been a good guy, if you've been a good boy, yes.
Anybody knows, well, maybe when the new panel comes on, anybody knows whether that is legal or not?
For someone to just chop down your tree?
Yeah.
On your property?
Yeah.
A mango tree?
I'm telling you.
Well, irrespective of the type of tree, I don't think anyone has permission to trespass. Therein lies the first breach, and then to destroy an asset of yours, and I consider it an asset because the mangoes you can sell.
Bountiful.
Yes.
Exactly.
So I know you're asking about a mango incident, but being a Taman tree lawyer, I would say you have a good case, sir.
Okay. No, I'm very serious. The guy goes and cut down my tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
Inexplicable.
And a mango tree, so I don't know how well I can participate in the mango festival, but you give me your
Well, I'll tell you this much. The Ministry of Agriculture, they have actually, according to the records, documented 44 varieties of mangoes right here in Nevis, and their claims that they have exceeded 44. So if indeed the mango tree doesn't spring up and bear fruit for July this year, it gives you more reason to come to the Mango Festival and sample the 44 varieties that Nevis has to show.
Yeah, but the point is though that I could have sold some of those mangoes to buy my ticket to come to the Mango Festival. So
You can't.
No, I'm very serious, and that's when I say people take advantage of me. They think I'm joking. That's one. Based on what Noah said, he shouldn't do that, right?
He should not.
No. Did you make a report?
There's one thing I like. One bunch of people alike is police.
Okay.
Yeah, so I did that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens. Okay, so
That's
anyway, so the point is that if folks are figuring that they have mango trees and between now and July, the experts are saying it's perfect timing, so not to worry.
That's what we've been told.
All right.
And in addition to that, one of the things or the great things about our agriculture department, once the mangoes have come in earlier, they have already begun to pulp them as well. So the pulp will be available for the chefs to infuse the different dishes. So you don't have to worry about coming to the mango festival and not getting mango infused dishes. That will be there.
Okay.
Surely.
All right, so no, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
No, I was just about to mention agro-processing. I wrote it down here and then he began speaking about it.
Yes.
There's no threat of the main ingredient not being in exact proportions this year, because as he said, the Nevis agro-processing plant or unit does an excellent job and has been working closely with the NTA, Nevis Tourism Authority, and over the years they have produced sufficient pulp for the variety of chefs. And since we were talking chefs, last year they had 30, but because, and we're talking specifically to the Sunday, but because of the explosion, the demand, the number of patrons, they're actually increasing that to 50 chefs this year. Not only 50 chefs, but we're focusing on the wide spread from let's call it a buffet line standpoint. So you can go, you can get appetizers, you can get salads, you can get an entree, you can get frozen desserts, you can get pastries, all infused with mangoes. So it's going to be taking you from the start of a meal right down to the end of a meal, and that's just for the love of mango on the Sunday that I'm referencing, where they've increased it from 30 to 50 chefs.
Yes.
That's a lot of stuff. So you in your opening comment, Fian, you had mentioned you had some challenges the last time.
Yes.
And one so that Noah just spoke to is a remedy that is put in place to mitigate those sort of things.
That is one of them. Given that we did have the explosion in numbers, we feel that 30 proved to us that it wasn't adequate, so we've gone up to 50, and I think it coincides with C50, given that our event is what's starting the C50 essentially. So C50, 50 chefs, Mango Festival, it's all 50. And essentially that's one of the things that we want to speak to. In addition to that, we noticed the numbers, they're great, and we have decided now to use the entire park.
Before you go there, there's another 50 as well. We're going to be organizing 50 volunteers.
Yes.
So we're sticking with the theme of 50. And again, the volunteers are going to be fully trained. There are 2 Saturdays that they're going to be trained on professional customer service, emergencies, and about the Mango Festival itself, conversational skills, conflict, and then they're going to be launched for each of the days in respective quantities to assist and to educate and make the experience even better. So that's another 50 we've added for the celebration of C50.
Yes, and that's also another improvement. Again, more help will be on deck for the persons coming to enjoy the Mango Festival. But if I may speak to some more solutions, as I spoke to the opening of the park, it was felt that we needed to utilize the entire park, given the numbers that we've seen last year, and we anticipate and expect those numbers again this year. And by using the entire park, one of the things that we've gained now is more access to the park. We will have 10 entrances to the park this year, so we won't have a bottleneck like last year. Unfortunately, we only had 2 entrances into the Mango Festival. This year we're coming with 10, so that will obviously eliminate the bottleneck at the beginning of the event.
Maybe added to the 50, had you informed me before, I could have given you 50 minutes worth of time. On the program.
For a second I thought you were going to say you were going to give us $50,000 as a sponsor.
I could do that.
All right.
Work with me. I can do that because about 2-3 hours ago,
Mm-hmm.
a lady promised me some money,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
and it's hefty monies too,
Yes.
which she had, which she wasn't using,
Okay.
because they had outgrown it, that money.
Okay.
Okay.
You were, when you were younger, you used to play a game called Monopoly,
Correct.
so you know how it works.
The monopoly money?
Yeah.
Okay then, yes.
So I'll be getting a lot of
Okay,
those.
good, good, good,
So
good.
that's
So, apart from the 10 entrances to facilitate the ingress of patrons, we also separating the exit.
Yes.
So they're going to be entrances lining what is called the Pinnis Beach Drive, the road that takes you down there, and then the exit is going to be at the complete end. You know the new facility they are completing down there with the extra parking and everything
Yes.
else. That would be the exit.
That'll be ready on time, in time.
We have been told by the highest principal on Nevis that yes, that will be happening. We had a meeting with the Honorable Premier Mark Brantley and presenting and discussing ideas for the Nevis Mango Festival, and that's one of the plans, to have that facility fully prepared, and that's going to help with parking, not only for patrons but for the staff and everyone, visitors coming to the island. Now, in terms of the splitting of the entrances, we are also going to separate ticket sales. Of course, there are going to be incentives. You can buy your tickets online, and we highly encourage that. But we know it's a cultural thing. Some people like to buy tickets on the day of the event. So we're going to have 2 separate ticket booths, one at the top of the street inside the compound and one at the bottom. So if you're coming there last minute and wanting to buy that ticket, you're not going to be standing in line taking up the valuable space for you and me, Webbo, who would have purchased the ticket before and they're waiting to go in. So all of those things that we're working on, we're also separating online tickets versus the paper physical tickets, because you know online you have to be scanned for validation. So we put some thought into ingress and egress to ensure that it's almost seamless. So the minute you walk in there, your experience is off the chart positively.
And given that we're on tickets as well, I want to speak to the tickets. So last year, when you purchased your ticket and you come, you would have gotten some small chiclets. I think that's what they call them. Chits. Sorry, I was thinking chewing gum. Chits.
Okay.
We have eliminated those.
I mean, they started tick-tack thing.
No, you know, sometimes you come in red and like a movie, they give you 10 or
you're doing
a raffle. They're blue, they're red, and they're perforated, so you tear them off.
Oh, I thought you were speaking about the things that Trump uses just before it tick.
No, sir.
Oh, no. Oh,
no.
These are not
Please leave
small red tickets. So
please leave the
essentially
alone.
last year.
No, walk with me.
Okay.
That's why you're here, so that people who don't know can be informed.
Okay.
And that includes me.
Okay, so let me inform you then. So those small tickets you were given when you presented the Mango Festival ticket last year, we're eliminating those. We are now moving to perforated tickets. So you're able to just get your ticket. We probably punch a hole, ban you go in with your ticket, and then you will tear the small ticket from the larger ticket and give it to the chefs. In addition to that one ticket, you'll be able to get the meal or the sample, which is the food, and or the drink sample. So you know, we have listened a lot of the concerns from last year. They were well covered. We went back to the drawing board, and we have now come forward to the front for the 10-year anniversary to fix all of those minor issues. As I said, I think this year is going to be the biggest and best Mango Festival, so I encourage you, once the tickets go live, to go out there and get your tickets. One of the things I also want to reiterate as well, given that we did have an explosion in numbers in relations to the samples, etc., we obviously want to protect the quality of the event, and once we have our 50 chefs on board, there's a lot of mats that go in the background, and there will be a cap on the samples overall. So once we figure out that cap, there'll be a cap on the samples. So I just want to encourage everyone to get their sample tickets early. We will also have forgive me a lack of a better word for ticket, the Limers package, where if you want to come to the Mango Festival to feel the vibes, but you don't really want to partake in the mango sampling, you just want to have a drink, we will also have that ticket available as well. So there's something for everyone. I want to also say that we are going to add a mango concert for the 10th year celebration. No, I am not going to give out the artist yet, but I just want to say that for the 10th year celebration, we thought it best to end it with a nice concert, you know, for Gone and Sexy after you've had so much mango infused food, you know, dance it off and have a great night. It's 10 years of everything mango.
You had mentioned earlier, we spoke about the agriculture department and the exports there. I'm going to guess that the Mango Festival is not just about having a good time, but also you get a lot of stuff from it, promote a lot of stuff in terms of local fruit, etc.
Well, if I may, there are about 8 objectives of the Mango Festival. And one, of course, is to showcase the king of fruit, as it is referred, and the 44 varieties. With that, there's an educational component in terms of best practices, not only from a cultivation, but a harvesting and post-production standpoint. So persons... remember, this is a culinary experience, a gastronomic experience, if I may call it that, where all of your digestive juice is supposed to be, you know, just scintillating and going crazy. So the educational opportunities. It's also an opportunity to showcase small businesses. If I may, let me just go through the 4 days with you. The Thursday opens on the Botanical Gardens, and that's in the afternoon. You have some formalities with the official launch and opening. We also have a jingle for the 10th anniversary, which will be launched, and that's specific there by a local band, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Should be perhaps circulating this week sometime. And then you have the Master Chef with a sort of class or tutorial. So I expect someone as yourself, Webbo, to put on your cap, your hat, and your chef's apron and go up there for the master class. And that's on the Thursday. Now, the Thursday was added specifically to separate and give enough time for the resources to recuperate. Because last year, and let me take the time out to say congratulations to all of the staff at the NTA, because 6, 7, 8, 9 staff pulling off and hosting an event of this nature, of this magnitude, is an incredible achievement. So what they would have had last year is to have the opening at Dewdrops on the Friday and then have to run to Indian Castle, and it was really stretched. So that is separated. Now you move to the Friday, which is at Indian Castle, and it's open orchard time. There's entertainment, there's mango stoning, mango eating, treasure hunt, and all sorts of activities. Tug of war, we diversify the activities, and of course a little bit maybe folklore, maybe bands or DJs to keep people entertained. That's about maybe 12 o'clock starting point. And then of course any of the fruits that you pick over there as a patron, you're allowed to eat on the grounds. So of course you're not allowed to pack up your bags and everything else. So the Ministry of Agriculture as a partner is allowing us to offer that privilege where you can eat whatever is ripe over there. Then we move to the Friday evening, which is at Penny's Beach. You know, right now, I don't know when was the last time you've been out, Webbo? Liming like a Generation Xer.
Because I was about to tell you I'm out now.
Okay. Yes, you're out, I understand. Okay. So after Indian Castle, which is of course Hanley's Road in Gingerland, we move to Penny's Beach, where they're about now what 8, 9, 10 bars down there, and we're gonna be hopping from some of these bars, and it's a sort of structured bar crawl on foot. So last year it was left sort of unattended, so to speak. People were, you know, milling around, but this time we're gonna have the sound reverberating in the bars, and then knowing that we're coming to this bar next, and that's going to culminate that Friday activities. The Saturday we're gonna be moving around, and this is another objective, to introduce visitors, regional and international, because the data show that persons came from as far as Australia last year. So we're taking them to 10, if I may label them as inner city, inner community, mom and pop bars and snackets and restaurants. So that's an experience, a package that we are selling. Kitishans can get the boat transportation, the ground transportation. They can get t-shirts and mugs, and those are different packages that we're selling. And we're going to walk, not walk, but we're going to drive around Nevis with 2 GJs. And then in the evening, you just go home, you shower, you put on your nice tuxedo or your linen suit, Webbo, and you head over, which we are confirming right now, to Mangoes at Four Seasons. Yes, and Mangoes for what is called a supper club, where it's a 4-course meal with an executive chef coming in from overseas. Then we move to the Sunday, which is down at the Malcolm Gishard Recreation Park.
You're not going to mention the fringe?
The fringe?
Yes.
Yeah, because we're celebrating, of course, after the supper club, or while at the supper club, or if you don't happen to go to the supper club, you could also take a night of steel. A little steel pan, which is at the cultural complex, or you could go to the artisan village, where you have an open day or open night or market.
Night market, yes.
Called Night Market by the Ministry of Tourism.
Yes.
And that takes you from 12 midday partying right up to about maybe 12 midnight.
Yes.
So please start taking your tablets, Webbo. It's a long stretch. And then the Sunday we move to the Malcolm Gishard Recreational Park. Again, from about 12 o'clock, we have all sorts of 50 chefs. We have entertainment during the course of the day. We have facials, massages, paint and sip, a kids zone, a fun gamification sort of zone, and of course that concert that he spoke about, that would end. Now, before I turn it over to him, he spoke about tickets. There are several different tickets. You could get 5 samples inclusive of the concert and the full entertainment all day, $75. $100 would be for the 10 samples. $125 would be $15, and if you want just a Limus package or the concert package only, that's $50. So they had 5 tiers. The last thing I'll mention is the Mango Lounge. This year, for our sponsors, our executive partners at certain levels, you'll be able to send either your customers or your employees to what is the Mango Lounge or the VIP, and we're also going to be selling some tickets to the public at $250. So I've just walked you through July 4th to July 7th, and then you'll be able to come back to the studio here on the Monday. So block those 4 days, please, Mr. Everett Webbo Herbert.
Yes, Phil.
So essentially, all of that, what Noah just said, we're encouraging persons to come to Nevis from the Wednesday, which would be the 3rd of July, and stay until the Monday, which is the 8th of July. Overall, the festival was created to increase heads in beds, invite tourists, and extend the tourism season. And I think, given what he would have just explained, this is a reason for you to come to Nevis and spend a couple days with us. I think that you're going to have a good time. We could educate you on all things mango, and you could have a great experience while eating, partying, everything mango.
I know you're focusing a lot on the products, the what you can get from the mango, right? In terms of the different delicacies, etc.
Yes.
What about the mango as is, as a fruit, whole?
You're asking if you could get that?
Yes.
Of course you could get that.
Will it be at the various, you spoke about 4 days, right?
Yes.
And Noah had mentioned about 40 something varieties.
Yes.
And so some folks, you're inviting folks to come.
Yes.
For the occasion. So
Yes.
you're not just catering for people who know about the 40 something varieties of mango. So I'm wondering that when they come, they don't know too many people on the island to the event. the mangoes, like a poly, Emery poly, or
A grafted.
grafted and so on.
Or the green.
So we will also
Long
have
skin.
educational.
No, not education. I'm talking about eating aspect of it.
Yes,
In other words,
I-
can folks go there and get maybe 6 mangoes? A dozen mangoes, as the case may be.
Yes, so you usually could come to the Mango Festival and that Sunday event, and you could actually purchase mangoes.
Okay.
So that is not a problem. As a matter of fact, that is actually a big selling point on the Sunday, that persons actually come and purchase mangoes. So yes.
All right.
Now, let me just send out an appeal to the public to ensure that all of the service suppliers please start contacting the Nevis Tourism Authority to send in your quotations for the various services. Okay, yes, they're going to be chefs, and I was just told today we had just about 50. We had 48, and then I called in too, so that takes us to about 50. If you wish to volunteer, and you can volunteer in several different areas: marketing, logistics, patron care, and a few others. So please contact them. There are also application forms online that you can go and register to be a volunteer. And if you're into providing sound systems and stage and tents and tables and decor, this is your opportunity, because another one of the objectives, as I said, is not only to introduce and expose small businesses, but give them an opportunity to make some money, because obviously there are going to be costs involved, security and other things, lighting, that persons from Nevis and St. Kitts. And the beautiful thing about, I just mentioned Nevis and St. Kitts, the Nevis Mango Festival is stretching over to St. Kitts as well, because I know for sure 2 of the bartenders are coming over. There are normally 6 bartenders who participate. On which day is that? That's a Friday.
That's Friday.
In a bartending competition. On the Sunday there's a chef's competition, and I've been told that you've reached out to some regional countries.
Yes.
Which countries are we expecting positive response from?
Antigua and Grenada we're looking at right now.
As well as Trinidad.
Yes.
So there are 3 incoming. We've also had in the past from Barbados. And the reigning chef, the champion, is from
Nevis.
Is from Nevis.
Yes, 4 seasons.
So that competition is
They will
going to be
come
on this
to
Sunday.
Defend their cause.
Yes.
Experience matters. And I've learned through the years to listen very acutely. And when you were speaking initially that the Mango Festival has spread over to St. Kitts as well, and I'm listening, but you did make the point though that you have some bartenders who will be coming over.
Correct.
And so on, because when I was young I knew that, I'm not so sure if they have mangoes in St. Kitts, but we used to always carry mangoes over to St. Kitts. So I was now wondering, first of all, whether you were bringing some mangoes over from St. Kitts to infuse as well, because where would it come from? That's just a like.
I think Nevis has the first stop. Yeah,
I think we have enough mango.
Far more than St. Kitts.
Just checking.
Yeah,
actually,
just to go ahead.
Actually, I remember a long time ago, Webbo, when I was ridiculed by a good buddy of mine. He took me up to, we were in Nevis, and he took me up to a place, he called it the Mango Walk. I have no idea where it is. I just jumped in his vehicle. And there are 2 things that we typically do in St. Kitts which caused him to laugh after me, and I was very hurt, because when we go to a mango tree, the first thing we do, we look on the ground in St. Kitts, and we look for the stems that we call them, they are bleeding, so they are fresh, so they just dropped, and we wipe it off and we begin to eat it. And he looked at me funny. Another thing that we do, when we hear noise, tum tum tum, we look up in the tree to see the mango dropping, to go and pick it up and eat it. And I did that, and he began laughing, and I asked him, well, what are you laughing for? And he boasted and said, in Nevis, we don't eat mangoes from the ground. Mangoes on the ground are for hogs. And I was like, okay, but we don't have the population that you do, so we have some time to pick them up off of the ground, okay?
That's how it is sometimes. But yeah, just to add to one of the things that I want to highlight, as we said, is to extend the tourism season. And I would have spoken about this the last time I was here, but I just want to reiterate, for last year, given that we had such an increase in numbers, persons supported the Nevis Mango Festival from all over the world, from the United States, United Kingdom. We had tickets as far as Australia, Saba, St. Martin, Barbados, Antigua, and the list goes on and on and on. And we have confirmation from some of those islands that they will be coming again this year for the 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival. So essentially what I am saying is that this festival is growing, it's getting better, and at the root of it all is the Nevis Mango, and of course the local talent that we have here on the island. So I want to say congratulations, and want to big up all of the persons, the chefs who have been on board for all the years. And before I move on, I just want to say, it would be the perfect time to say, God bless one of our previous chefs who would have moved on, Mr. Buju. He will be surely remembered. I want to, of course, say thank you to all the service providers, the patrons who would have came out and supported over the years, and of course I want to thank the good folks at the Nevis Tourism Authority. Without all of us, we would not have been at 10 years. So I just want to say thank you to everyone who have contributed to the Nevis Mango Festival over all the years, and we would love to see you continue to support the Nevis Mango Festival and come out and let us have a great 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival on the heels of Cultural Pharmacy 50. So I think it's going to be a very good summer. Webbo, I'm inviting you and I'm inviting the general public to come out to the 10th edition of the Nevis Mango Festival, and stay tuned to our social media pages. And if you have any further questions or concerns, reach into our office. We have some very exciting competitions that are coming up as well, where you could win tickets, etc. So I think all things mango 2024, 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival.
And Noah?
Yeah, let me just wrap up. And for those persons who thought we are moving a little bit late, that's not necessarily accurate. It's more strategic. Nevis Tourism Authority didn't wish to get caught up in the rainbow and the rainfall of marketing that was being done for the music festival, the St. Kitts Music Festival, as well as Culturama. So we are doing our radio tours. Expect the calendars and flyers to come out. You mentioned Buju. Might I also add, not only is he going to be remembered, but he's going to be highlighted during the course of this time. Let me take the opportunity to thank all our sponsors, including Von Radio, the powerhouse, and other corporate partners, as well as our patrons. And before I go, let me just say, patrons we mean from the small ones to the older ones. There's going to be a kiddies center down there, so your kids can enjoy this Sunday. There's also going to be minute to win it games where you can win maybe teddy bears or other little prizes. So the Nevis Tourism Authority is inviting you. Come over on the Wednesday from wherever you come in for Thursday, Friday, Saturday and Sunday, the 10th anniversary. And always remember, Webbo, it's what? Mango now, mangoes then, we celebrate in 10. Okay?
Oh, that's a slogan?
No, that's not the slogan. I just like the sound.
That's what he made up.
Yeah, it's not the slogan. It is not the slogan.
Okay. So what is the slogan? Because you said you have a jingle coming out.
We have a jingle.
So,
we have a jingle.
The slogan is not in the jingle?
No.
There is no official slogan.
There's no official. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Let's just say mango everything.
Yes. Or everything mango.
Everything mango. 10 years. Nevis Mango Festival.
You don't think it might have been more catchy to put it in a sort of mystery as to why the fellow cut down my mango tree?
Sounds like your Calypso have you contacted this and that, and these guys over here. What a mystery! Why the fella cut down Webbo mango tree?
I got my own singers.
So, in final, I just want to again invite everyone to the 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival, July 4th to the July 4th to the 7th. The 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival. It begins on a Thursday, ends on a Sunday. I am therefore inviting you to Nevis on a Wednesday, and you can leave the Monday for the 10th staging of the Nevis Mango Festival, the 4th to the 7th of July. See you there. Can't wait.
Well, Webbo, let me ask you if you could spare us 5 minutes, just in case the phones. I don't know if we formally opened it up, but if we have any suggestions, anyone would like to call with a question, need some further clarification, if you have an extra 3 minutes that you can spare us.
Well, that will take us to 50 as I promised. So
beautiful, beautiful.
Okay, so go ahead, ask them to call. You were giving them a ticket or something, or you just
no problems at all. They can get.
I don't know.
They can get a ticket.
Okay.
And no wonder I see why the fella cut down the mango tree.
So, if you'd like to call now, maybe you can. If you have a question about the mango festival, even if you want to tell them, you know, it's a good idea or whatever, or even if you want to say, well, why don't you give me a ticket? 469-1616 or 469-1700. You can call now. Okay, meanwhile, while we're waiting on that, what else?
Yeah, so just to reiterate everything that would have been said, so the festival is over 4 days this year, starting at Thursday at the Nevis Botanical Gardens. Then we are going to go on the Friday to the Indian Castle Orchard. After that, the Pinnies Beach Bar Crawl. On the Saturday, we invite everyone to the Taste of Nevis, throughout Nevis, to the inner cities, as my good friend alluded to the various mom and pop stores. And on the Saturday evening, supper club at Mangoes, Four Seasons Mangoes, and there's 2 fringe events, one held by the Ministry of Tourism, and that will be the night market. The other is by Culturama C50 Night of Steel, and of course on Sunday the big event at the Malcolm Gishard Park. Over 50 chefs, kids zone, painting, massages, everything mango, cook-off competition, everything you could think of at Penny's, beginning at 12:01 and finishing with a concert overall. So we're inviting one and all to the Nevis Mango Festival, the 10th staging, from July 4th to the 7th this year. Can't wait. Everything mango.
What I like about the Mango Festival, Webbo, in marketing, we have a term called segmentation, where we break up the market and the potential customers into clusters or segments or groups, and we use what is called a descriptor. Demographics. Mango Festival has everything for persons of all ages. Like I said, from kids running around in the kiddie zone to kids at the treasure hunt on the Friday. So it's a family oriented activity. Psychographics, the way people value things, so the educational, in the visitor center down there on the Sunday, there's going to be what we call a vision center, a learning center, where we'll have tutorials, where we'll have videos, where you could have a panel discussion. You could go in and listen to a panel discussion, so persons who have share different values and norms will be entertained as well. Geographics, that's another segmentation variable, where we're going all over. We're going to be visiting from Bricklin to Barnesgott to where else? To Gingerland to Stony Grove. So that takes care of geography. And of course behavioral. Persons who can sip on a cocktail and relax in a lounge, or persons who can sway and dance to the music. So every single type of patron will be catered to by this Mango Festival. And it's obvious we're running out of time and nobody wants a ticket. That's all right. We can't hear you. Webbo.
We'll be back.
Yeah, maybe you can just leave it with me. Because you keep inviting me, but you gave me no ticket.
I assume they're gonna give you.
Anyway, go ahead.
I assume Devon Leiber, the CEO, and the Freon will give you a beautiful package. We don't have to give you our ticket. Come on, man.
Oh, okay.
So if
we have you covered.
If we do leave a ticket with you, it's for someone.
I got you.
Okay.
We made it to 50. The second 50 minutes, we made it to 50.
Thank you.
Okay, so do come again before.
We definitely will.
So thank you all very much.
Thank you for having
Noah Mills, Fionn Jones, the Nevis Mango Festival. The second segment is This is Thought That Get Results. We'll be back after these.
George's Real Estate announces a 102-acre lot for sale at Estates Bottom and Morton Hill Estates combined. The lot is located at St. George's Parish, west of Stockpen Estate and south of Saddle Hill. Call Mr. Edric Stanley for serious inquiries or more information at 869-665-5634 or 869-469-3868.
Builders Paradise is offering a large variety of floor and wall tiles at very competitive prices. Builders Paradise has over 2 million pieces in stock, lots of different styles to choose from. Whether you're renovating or tiling a new house, Builders Paradise has what you need. Wow! Oh, and remember, we're open all day Saturday to serve you better.
This is something that you can't refuse.
Visit Builders Paradise today at the C.A. Paul Southwell Industrial Site in St. Kitts or call them at 466-4938.
In this second segment of Talk That Get Results for this evening. The first segment featured Noah Mills and Fionn Jones of the Nevis Mango Festival, the 10th anniversary that's coming up in July. Stay tuned, we'll be giving more information, etc., etc., and maybe when they come back they'll give away that ticket that you didn't grab a hold of the next time. You can get it the next time around. The second segment. Roger Fifield, good evening.
Good evening, Webbo, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Also want to say a special good evening to all those who are viewing and those who are listening via the various medias. Webbo, I want to say congratulations to two of my nephews, Delville Chol Mills and Chevin Bapso Mills. They had their second annual grill-off competition Sunday gone, and I think that it was a real success. This is one way that, you know, friends and family could come together and have some real good clean fun, and I must commend them. I was unable to go to their function last year, and hence Sunday gone was my first, and I really liked it. I think Bapso was the winner for last year, and this year it was a tie. I think that Troll, that's Delville, he won the barbecue chicken, and Chevin Bapso, he would have won the barbecue pork segment, so it was a tie. So I must commend them, Webbo. Webbo, also want to add my voice to the sad incident that transpired. I think it might have been on Sunday or Monday. Monday it might have been at Penny's Beach, Webbo, to the young lad. I think it's Kevon Wood. And Webbo, I just want to say that most of us here on island, we don't plan for things like these, Webbo. And I believe that once we can, you know, we should contribute and assist in whatever little way we can. I I can't speak, and I am not speaking officially for anyone, but on my own behalf, Webbo. I believe that we need to put ourselves in others' shoes, and just give something. If it's $1, $5, $10, whatever it is, Webbo. And while I'm on that, Webbo, my alma mater, the Gingerland Secondary School, they are putting on 2 functions. I think one on the 10th, that's the 10th Friday coming. I dress up for the school children, just up there, that they would pay something. And on the 18th, I think there is a glow walk. Persons can, I suppose, purchase packages, glow packages. You have, I think, moon would be shining. You have a nice moonlight walk, and it would you will end up at the school grounds, and of course items would be there on sale, and the proceeds would go towards the Kevin Woodley Fund. The monies will be donated to him, Webbo. Webbo, I want to say thank you once again for inviting me on this widely listened program. Of course, we are here every Tuesday night, and I am hoping to learn something this evening and share whatever little knowledge that I have with the viewing and listening audience, Webbo. Thank you once again for inviting me to your program, Webbo.
Conrad Nye Libert, good evening.
Good evening, Webbo, and a pleasant good evening to your staff here at Fun Radio, to my colleagues around the table. Good evening, Webbo, and once again we gather to discuss these very issues affecting the people, and it's always a pleasure to come by and be a part of it. I would encourage the general public to call in and to add to the program, give their views and opinions on these various matters that affects the development and growth of St. Kitts Nevis and the wider region. And of course, the first segment talking about the Mango Festival. We know that Nevis is endowed with a lot of mangoes, and I'm happy that we have discovered a way to actually put more meaning to this bountifulness that we have as it relates to mango. And I hope also going forward we can even find more reasons and more usage for this abundance of mango that we usually have yearly. I'm also inviting everyone out to the festival. Last year I was surprised. I went down there and it's just too much people, too many people. I didn't get close to where it was happening. I find myself down on the beach, and the beach was covered with people. So I'm also looking forward to that event again this year. And with that said, Webbo, I just want to thank you for having me for this session, and I hope to be part of a healthy discussion this evening, Webbo.
Edric W. Stanley, good evening.
Good evening, Webbo, and good evening to my fellow panelists. Good evening to the people of St. Kitts, and more particularly the people of Nevis, those who listen to us on the World Wide Web, throughout the Caribbean Basin, Facebook, YouTube, as the case might be. Webbo, listening to those two that were on before us, they've given a wealth of information, and as a result, mango, they should include Guinea too. I hope you did well with the strategy I told you to sell the tree. At the same time, you would have gotten some money, but there's an abundance of not only mangoes, but guineas. And as a result, if they were to include that as a festival, well, maybe not separately, but in combination, well, based on how things are, mangoes are somewhat scarce, but today a fellow pulled up by my car and offered me mangoes, but I told him I just can't eat them anymore because of the sugar in terms of health. So based on that, it tells you mangoes are here and they have ripened enough for people to be on the street now selling. So the idea of mango festival, the abundance of breadfruit. So when you look at those three, mango, breadfruit, guinea, we can combine them and do what is known as an expansion of the mango, guinea and breadfruit festival. Of course, last year we had an abundance of mangoes to the extent where the processing unit took a lot of our mangoes. In the past, I invited people to come and pick mangoes right on my property at church ground. And these mangoes are a top. They call them Julie or grafted mango.
You make Naya smile. Naya, why you smile?
Well, he's marketing his mango. You know, Spanish will say his mango is the best, and you know, Stanley won't say any other thing.
Listen, the person whom I bought the land from has been featured in, so many years while he was alive as one of the leading agriculturists, or farmers rather, leading farmer, and therefore he left a legacy. One of the biggest avocado, unfortunately, I had to take out that tree simply because it was gathering termite. It was a mecca for termites. But Teacher Iro, if you remember him, God bless his soul, would have come to my place every year just to get avocado of that size from my property.
So you had the biggest and best mangoes. You have the biggest and best avocados. No doubt you also have the biggest and best tomatoes.
No.
Tomatoes. Okay.
Sweetest guinea.
Oh, okay.
I could tell you that.
So what if a fellow were to come and cut down your guinea tree or your mango tree, then what?
Listen, there are times when things happen so draconianly that they don't really cut down, but they come and they pick.
You heard what I asked you?
Yes, I know what.
And that's what you're answering to?
Quite so. At the same time, you know.
Okay, let me ask it again. That same mango tree what you're talking about, what if Naya were to come tomorrow and cut it down, then what?
Naya would have a problem in his hand.
Okay. Alright, so go ahead.
So, based on what where we are with reference to fruits, Nevis is a bountiful island, and including St. Kitts, we are a bountiful place agriculturally. It's just that enough people are not engaged yet in the agricultural industry as farmers. But a lot of people are making a lot of money now from farms, from fruits and vegetables. But if you were to look around and see the quantity of land large quantity of land that are just there inhabited by tropical vegetation, we can be a mecca or go back and become the breadbasket of St. Kitts and Nevis. Nevis being the breadbasket, where we would always carry fruits, vegetables, and the like to St. Kitts. But St. Kitts, of course, is doing much better too. But based on the importation bill of fruits and vegetables, we are not really producing enough, because for local consumption it can be a bountiful harvest for all the fruits and vegetables we can cultivate and grow in Nevis and St. Kitts. Webbo. Naya.
You're right, Mr. Stanley, but we have a major problem here on island. I think the fruits that reaches the people, it's about less than half that the island naturally produces. One of the more popular fruit trees in terms of numbers in Nevis is the soursop tree. There's a lot of soursop trees on island, but we don't reap the soursops. We got a major problem with the monkeys. In fact, today I listened to international news, and I think it was in England. Somebody was charged or was about to be sentenced because they were engaged with an online circumstance where they had people torturing and killing young monkeys. And it makes me laugh in a serious way, because it's like we're here and we will do anything to get rid of the monkeys. We have a big problem with the monkeys. Everywhere you go throughout Hamilton, everywhere, Nevis is covered with soursop trees, but we don't get it. We don't reap much soursop trees, soursop fruit, and we know soursop fruit is a highly demanded thing today, because somebody says that it helps. It's good for cancer patients, and so we really only access, as far as I check, casual observation, less than half of what Nevis offers to we the people in terms of fruits, really. I mean, where's the golden apple? Where are the golden apples? The guavas, the sugar apples. I've spoke of soursop, Yes, we got mangoes in abundance, because they're simply too much for the monkeys, and guineps. But outside that, I think we are lacking a lot. We are unable just to eat the fruit. The fruit trees are there. But we are unable to. I mean, the berries. I go up to Golden Rock and Zetlands, the chewies or berries, whatever you call them, on the side of the road. There's many, but we don't get them at all. And so we have a very serious problem with the monkeys. A friend of mine called me the other day and he told me he planted some eggplants, and he has over 1,000 pieces of stem, because as soon as the eggplants come out, young eggplants, the monkey just come and pick the fruit. And he has about 1,000 of them. He say he's going to take them to the agriculture department and show the agriculture department. But of course we have a monkey problem, and to be honest, we've been talking a lot about it, and I don't really want to talk too much about it, because it doesn't seem like we have a solution, a workable solution, a sensible approach that I cannot really help with at this point. But something have to be done with the monkey situation. I, for one, eat a fruit salad every day, and I sometimes make sure my mom do that as well. But it's always the foreign fruits I gotta get. Always I gotta go to the supermarket to get the foreign fruits, which to me they are not good in quality, and not too healthy. Of course, they're not fresh. We hear about fresh fruits. That's where the real nutrients and health part of the food lies, I suppose. But we have a problem with the monkey. So if we're talking seriously about fruits, and even seriously about agriculture, but fruits, wild fruits that grow casually around this island, which is a lot, we really got to deal with this circumstance of monkeys.
Yes, Naya, I want to agree with you in terms of the monkeys. I think we spoke to that some time ago, and we have to find some way to control the population of the monkey. But just to piggyback on some of the things that Stanley would have said, I want to believe, Stanley, that there's I'm not sure what it is dubbed, but for want of a better term, there's a breadfruit fest, I think, in Bansgut, and that has been happening for a few years now. You spoke, Naya, to the Sousup, and Sousup could be a cash cow for Nevis. I can recall a few years ago I was in Florida, and I went to the flea market, and they had a vegetable market there too, fruit and vegetable market. And I was curious. I love melons, and I went to purchase a melon. And while I was there, I came across a Sousup. And I'm almost certain that the Sousup wasn't as big as my fist when I make a fist. And that Sousup cost $15 US and to change.
Let me just take this for you, gentlemen. Good evening, thank you for holding.
Yeah, good night. I call it from overseas. When Mango Festival, the date, I'm sorry.
I think July 4th to the 7th.
July 4th until the 7th.
Yes.
4 days, 7 different days. Many.
Okay, I just say you have the sweet Guinness to serve.
July
4th, okay.
July 4th to the 7th.
To the 7th.
Yes.
So the what's the name? The Guinness season will be on that time too?
Yes, usually
In general?
fruits are
Mamsiport to Mammy Apple?
the man support is going out.
Oh, they're going out now.
There are trees. You might still find a man support tree now and then here and there. But Nevis is famous for its fruits. Caller, I didn't want to steal your thunder. Go ahead.
Right. No, I just wondering. I've been there once, and I always want to come back. So after I hear this thing, then I say, well, that'd be a good time to indulge. So
Sure.
I'll check it out. I'm gonna try to check it out. I'll see how the thing.
All right.
Thank you
Okay.
for the plenty.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Same to you, sir.
There's an abundance of fruits. There's a famous fruit which is tamarind. There's many tamarind trees that are existing, and they live a long time.
Oh yeah.
They live for a long time. When we were going to primary school, we sheltered under a tamarind tree, and that fruit tree provided a small snack for the students, the pupils. At the same time, when we look at the abundance of fruits that Nevis produces, it's mind-boggling. I have a soursop tree in my yard, and it bore until one day I was able to taste the fruit coming off of that soursop tree, and it was really amazingly sweet, to the extent where I took some seeds and donated them to a friend down in the Stony Grove area. But Nevis is blessed, enormously blessed.
Yes, but we're not getting the fruits. Where are the fruits? From Nevis. Yeah, we know mangoes, but where are the others?
Well, my place, we got a tamarind tree, and he says, I can't tell you how old it is, but it bore continuously. Continuously. They sell tamarind in the stores, but unfortunately, our tamarind is sour or acidic. I do not know how they were able to get the tamarind that is imported to be of the sweet nature. But somewhere along the line, the agriculture department probably can do
Those are
research.
modified, Stanley.
Okay. As to how, so we got how can we modify what we got in existence
So
now?
some is being grown here now. People have planted seed and they are
Growing
I know a guy has
sweet tamarind?
a very sweet tamarind tree. Yeah.
Okay, very nice.
Most of these things we are getting from overseas are genetically modified, you know. Even corn and stuff like that, you know, they would do that to somewhat make it more enticing, sweeter, so to speak, you know, palatable, you know, to eat. So a lot of these fruits and stuff we get it from overseas, and that's why you see our natural fruits where we get locally, you know, is the best. As Naya said, they are fresh, they are freshly picked. They are not been in refrigerators for maybe a number of weeks and stuff, and preservatives are added to them and stuff like that. We get them from the tree, we wash them, we eat them. Sometimes we don't even wash them, you know. I can recall growing up, you know, one of the sweetest things for me, you know, is to have a half-ripe mango and to eat the skin. You know, and that was, you know, for me. You know, other persons might not have eaten the skin, but I always love eating the skin.
Well, one of the real problem is when mango getting scarce. Man, it doesn't make any difference how bird pick it is. You understand?
But when the bird pick out the fruit, it's sweeter. whether it's mango or the cherry, you know, it is sweeter. You enjoy it more.
But I'll tell you, we are somewhat not producing as much. And like I said, most of the areas in the past that were cultivated by the farmers, sugarcane mostly. You mentioned cherry, the cashew nut.
Yeah.
It's a nice fruit.
Very rich fruit. And the cherry itself, very tasty, very juicy. Listen, one of the best things is to have grown up in Nevis within 19 and maybe 4 and 19. We never had much in terms of dollars to play around with, but there was always an abundance of fruits from which we ate.
Stanley, you know, my question is, you know, what happened to our local orange? What happened to our local tangerine? What happened to our local shaddock? I mean, you're older than I am, I presume. So where have they gone? What happened? I can recall going to school, we had so much. Just outside the Gingerland Primary, now the Joycelyn Ibert Primary, it's bounded by the Nisbets then. I'm not sure who owned the property now. And that yard had in a lot of shaddock, orange, and tangerine trees. I'm not seeing them. The Fotogills here yard now, the Heritage Village, that used to be filled with orange trees. I remember as a little boy, I go there, you know, we get orange, you know, up to maybe 25 years ago. But I'm not seeing shaddock especially. I think about maybe 6 years ago, I saw a tangerine tree in the bordering St. Thomas's and St. James's. One tangerine tree. I haven't seen a shaddock tree in ages.
You know, so shaddock is a cross, is a graft between a
orange
orange and a grapefruit.
And we used to have grapefruit too. I'm not seeing that either.
Well, the bittersweet, I don't know what brings about the bittersweet, but we got sour orange, what we call sour orange. But you know, last Culturana, there was a song by the Fat Pork. Somebody sang a song about the Fat Pork and so on and so on. And it was such a festive time, an informational time based on the fruits. And the program on Von Radio was as such that people called in to tell us why we have an absence of certain things and why we can get certain things. Like the shaddock was mentioned, the pomegranate. I remember right below us, on the other side, there was a tree. Can't think of its name right now, but Mansiport. There was a Mansiport tree right and on the other side of us. But we ate, and these are fruits that, of course, provided breakfast, sometimes lunch and dinner for all of us.
Yeah, back in the days, fruits hunting was a big thing. I mean, that's what we used to call it. Going out in the wild through the bushes and hunt fruits. And sometimes we used to hide the sugar apples.
Right.
And we used to call them ghoul.
Yeah.
Sometimes we got like 10 ghouls, sugar apples, and each got in 20 sugar apples, and then all ripe together. You know, just one big thing happening, you know. But I still have a big problem, and I think we are kind of drifting. We are talking about fruits, but we are not getting the fruits from the trees. The trees are there, you know. Mansiport trees still exist in Rollins in a big way. I know where there's, and they still there, but the monkey get them before we, you know. And so that to me is a problem. I really don't know how we're going to deal with this, because it's not getting better. It's not getting better. If you look through the bushes when you walk around and drive around, you would realize how many soursop trees are on this island. And as you say, a little soursop big like a fist, 15 US, you know, and it's known to be a very healthy fruit. And sometimes I wonder if the agriculture department can be more far-reaching with its outreach in terms of taking care of fruit trees in general, in a sense. You know, what you may consider to be in the wild, but of course they're on people's land. You know, they're on people's land, and of course there are so many lands that are not, you know, taken care of. But there are so many fruit trees, but we're not getting the fruits, you know. And I don't know how we're going to deal with this. You know, I for one don't believe in shooting the monkeys, because somebody been shooting monkeys in my area in Pinnis, and I almost get shot. And it's barbaric, no doubt about it. And I don't think we would develop a good reputation to be known as an island that kills the monkeys. But trust me, people in St. Vincent never see monkey, you know.
And Dominica.
Never see monkeys. Yeah? And of course we depend on them for fruits now, you know. And I find we got to do something, and I don't know how to approach it. I don't know how to approach it. I think anyone who have the know-how or have the inspiration to come up with a real good solution should be respected highly as it relates to the monkey problem we have here in Nevis.
Food security is the focus of the Nevis Island administration, and quite a number of new farms, people who never thought they would have gone back to the farm, but quite a number of new farms have been cultivated and relatched. The small coconut trees, I don't know where we get that breed from, but at the same time, these small coconut
trees, they call it dwarf coconut.
Yes, based on the advancement of food, focus on food security, there are few farms that have been cultivated with those small coconut trees and other fruit trees. So even though there may not be a large number of farms, they still got focus. But to bring into sharp focus the monkey problem, I mentioned here that there was a trap that was built, and once you bait it with bananas, those monkeys would go in there and eventually think they're having a party only to find that they're trapped. But I'm not 100% certain if the trap initiative was successful, because seemingly it's a good idea, it's a practical idea, and if you are able to build the trap, many fields right now got bananas, and therefore those monkeys would go in there. I am certain. So I don't know if it is the cost of the trap itself, or for whatever reason I don't see any traps of that size. The trap would be roughly 5 feet square or 4 feet square, or a little larger in terms of height. Cube, 4 by 4 by 4, 4 feet high, 4 feet wide, and 4 feet long. So that cube should be able to
4 feet cube.
Yeah.
And then I make no impact at all on the monkey population.
I do not know whether it is the cost to produce.
I know a guy who's spending a lot of money trying to solve the monkey problem. He seems to be spending more money on trying to solve the monkey problem than actually putting into the farm, investing into the farm itself. I understand you can use the electrical fence. Yeah, But what I'm talking about a lot is the fruits that grow in the wild, and there's a lot more fruits that grow in the wild than grows on farms and so forth. You know what I mean? Yeah, the dwarf jelly is very much planted these days. Monkey can't do nothing with that, and so it's a good thing. It's a good thing. We got to replant the trees, even though it's genetically modified as well. But most things are, as the gentlemen have said. But I would just want to see a lot more fresh fruits, or just local fruits happening again, because the potential exists. The fruit trees are there, but
we have the population to consume what is grown, but do we produce in that larger quantity to the extent where people would, well, we have seen the little store or sideway stalls, and they have grown. But you go Puerto Rico, on the roadside, you will find many stalls that have been built, and people make a decent living from those stalls. Here in Nevis, the stalls have been catching on, but seemingly everybody wants to be somewhere in town. But at the same time, they're over in New River. There are stalls in New River.
There's two stalls around.
Yes. So
it's growing as well.
It's an idea.
It's an idea, yeah. Almost, from it's usually most of the stalls I know, fruits and vegetable stalls are run by foreigners, put it that way. People who have brought that idea and come here, mostly from the Indian population, mostly Guyanese and so forth, which is a good thing. Because it just makes fruits and vegetables a little more accessible. To going to Charlestown sometimes, traffic and so forth. Sometimes you got to bring your product to the people, and that's one thing, we have seen taking place, and it's almost like something that was brought in with the migrants from those islands that are more agriculturally deeper than us, and of course they have to employ more resource because the competition is more amongst the people who are selling, and so we see that happening. It's a very good thing, I suppose. I encourage it. I like that, actually. It's just providing more access, and sometimes these stalls are open beyond a certain hours, and sometimes you can call them out because sometimes the people live right there, and that's a good thing. But mostly they are selling also the kind of foreign fruits. We see watermelon is a big thing here, but is it a fruit or a vegetable?
It's a fruit.
Gentlemen, just to go back to the monkey and how the monkey has now invaded us, so to speak. Maybe one of the problem is that back in the 70s and 80s, you would find more persons farming in the hillside, and by more people farming in the hillside, a few things happen. Is that they are there more regularly, and if they are attending their farms more regularly, then the monkeys would not be around that often. And then because they are there in the hills, their presence, in my opinion, would have ward off the monkeys. And then after people stopped farming in the hillside, we had places like where we call, in my area, Jargisil, Upper Hill, Spring Valley and stuff like that. Now when persons would have stopped farming those areas, then I believe the monkey now the absence of persons in those areas, the monkeys now gradually started to come down, and they have come down so much so that they are even in Charlestown. I would have seen monkeys in Charlestown maybe up to 2 weeks ago. I drove through Charlestown this morning and I saw donkeys walking alongside the square in Charlestown this morning, early morning this morning. So it is the monkeys, and we also have a donkey problem also. The monkeys more so because the monkeys can climb, they can climb a fence, they can jump over. The donkeys basically, once you are fenced, they cannot get in. So, but coming back to what I was saying, I want to believe that people do not farm in the hillside, and there are certain crops that would grow bountifully in the hillsides. You know, those root crops, yam, tanya, and so forth. Even in the 90s, you know, I can recall going where we call locally bush to look what we call wild yam. But the question is, were those yams really wild yams? I believe those yams were farmed and left unattended.
Planted.
Right. And there's a place up Wally, and I'm almost certain, I haven't been there for quite a while, but I'm almost certain if you go in that area, you would find what we call a lot of wild yam, and they're very tasty. And
Colossal yam. The word I know that was used to describe them, it's colossal.
Okay.
Colossal yam.
Right. So I am wondering, even cabbage, you know, they grow, from my experience, they grow well on slope, on sloped area. So I don't know if maybe we should stop fighting, so to speak, for the lowlands, and if we go back in the hillside, if we and our presence will be able to ward off these monkeys so they can go back up in the hills, you know, instead of when we come down, the followers coming down with us, behind of us, until they are now, you know, intermingling with us. You know, maybe those are some of the things that we probably want to look into, and maybe the experts at the agriculture department probably need to sensitize us as, you know, what land or lands is best for us to farm certain crops. From my understanding, for example, you know, watermelons, they would grow better on the lowline, closer to the sea. I want to believe that it is maybe something to do with the salt and the whole, you know, coming together from the sea breeze, and maybe, you know, going into the soil and stuff like that, and you would get good yield, opposed to if you have watermelon plant more in the mountainside, in the mountainous areas. But I am no expert, but so I am appealing to the, you know, the experts in the agriculture department. Maybe if they come out and they sensitize us, maybe some of us would go more into farming. Maybe some of the current farmers, maybe they would become more knowledgeable in terms of what types of crops they want to grow, and exactly where they would want to have their farmlands in order to realize the produce that they would like to. I don't know if my little analogy in terms of the farmers coming down to the lower lands, if that could hold out.
Well, what happened is that because of the dependency on the land, as people go from dawn to dusk, that's how they used to work the farms or the little land holdings. they worked from dawn to dusk, to the extent where I'm not sure if monkeys go and hunt at night for food. So, based on the fact that they stayed until dusk, the monkeys stayed away and ate maybe mangoes and other soft fruits. But you're not going to get anything turned around anymore. You're not going to be able to turn back. What we got to do is to attempting to trap them or shoot them, as the case might be, in a way of controlling the population.
But Stanley, we would have been.
Let me just take this. Good evening. Thank you for holding. Good evening. Thank you for holding.
Good evening. Good night to the panelists.
Good evening.
I'm just sharing a little information for Fight is Walking. I buy a bottle of black pepper and I sprinkle the sauce up and I get pepper sauce and I put some water in it and put a toothbrush in it and wipe it all over the proprietary. And so Fight is Walking. For years I haven't got a sauce up to eat the monkeys over there, but I already got two to eat. I have about 2 of them bagged. And the monkeys don't like to sneeze, so when they sneeze and sneeze, they don't get a chance to bite the sauce up and go with them. So it's working so far, but when rain falls, you have to make sure they to sprinkle them again after they dry up.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. I think that probably can work. The caller would
It's
have
working
indicated.
so far. I don't know for how long, but they normally come on Sundays when I go to church. So I have to make sure it's rain fast Saturday night to sprinkle the things with the thing and dab them with the pepper sauce. And it helps a lot so far. So I don't know if anybody wants to try it. Okay.
Well, I'm certain that people, because of the labor that they would have put in terms of having the sauce up and the papaya, as the case might be, they might just want to try that method and save their crop from these nuisance monkeys.
They eat up everything, the pomegranates, everything. So when I get the paper bags, I bag the pomegranates and reach a certain stage and get the light clothespin and pin them on, and they don't interfere them. So this year I was able to get at least 14 pomegranates, big pomegranates, put them in my fridge and share them. So you have to do things to strategize to get rid of these pests, you know. So if you try that, bag the pomegranate and reach a certain stage and so forth, and it helps. It is helping a little so far.
The bagging of the bananas.
The bananas need huge. I haven't any banana trees, but the pomegranates I bag them, and those kind of things.
I believe that can probably work for a backyard garden, so to speak.
Okay.
You know.
Good night.
Good night. Good night. Thank you.
What I'm saying, I think that can probably work for, backyard gardens, but when you have persons farming maybe 2-3 acres of land, it's going to be very difficult for a farmer to maybe bag, let's say bananas, to bag so many bananas, on his lands. But, it is something that, we who do a little backyard gardening, can take on board. One of the things that, as the caller spoke to that too, we do as well is, to wipe aloe on the particular fruit. But then again, you understand if you don't wash it properly, you too, who is going to consume it, you're going to get some bitterness in your mouth. So these are some of the things that we can do. But I dare say that I believe that these can only be done on a small scale. As I said, farmers farming 2, 3, 4 acres of land, it can be very difficult, in my opinion. That is. Stanley, you would have spoke about chopping the monkeys and shooting. But we have been chopping monkeys from since I know myself in various ways. You spoke to the cage chop. Yes, that has been around even before my time. And there was this chop with this spring and have some like teeth on either side. That has been in from before my time too. I'm not sure if that particular chop is still around. I haven't seen it for a very long time. That is the chop with the spring and the teeth light. It's still around? I haven't seen it. So, I mean,
Yes.
we have been trying these various methods. Maybe we need to go back to the drawing board and, knock heads together to come up with some idea or ideas as to how it is going to be best for us to control these monkeys. And then when you look at it, more than likely there's going to be a cost factor. So how can we get rid of these monkeys, and minimize costs at the same time? Those are that's I think is a major factor. Because sometimes it's not that we don't have the ability to perform a particular duty or task, but sometimes is the finance, is the monies that we lack. That is the major hindrance from us moving forward.
Well, let me ask you, has the electric fence has worked?
It worked to a certain extent, Stanley. When it first came out, it worked brilliantly. But Stanley, I am telling you, these monkeys, as the lady would have alluded to, the caller, is that these monkeys, even though the days, because she would have said that they come to her on Sundays, and if rain fall on the Saturday, she would have to go back and put on the black pepper and whatever else. So these monkeys, they're very smart, and I'm telling you, what these monkeys are doing now to these electric fence, they're sending out which of them they so desire to go, and they jump and they shout out these electric fence. They are doing it, and if you don't believe me, you can ask farmers who would have experienced, who have electric fence and experience it. That is what they are doing, and they recognize it. Even the dogs, back in the day, you have a dog in your fence and monkey dare not come close, even though the dog is tied. But now the dog is on a leash. The monkey, they jump on the fence and they measure the dog and they taunt the dog, and they realize, oh, you can't catch me, and then they go and they recognize the dog all can go from X
to the chain.
Right.
Yeah.
And then they jump over and they have the feast. It is happening. These monkeys are getting smarter and smarter every day. And you should not take my word for it. The caller would have just basically said it to us.
Well, what I'm saying is that if you have an electric fence that is powered by solar, I've seen some electric fences that are powered by solar.
Yes.
Which gives you a continuous, and at the same time, it is at a lower cost. Is it working, or is it not working?
It is working to a certain extent. That is what I'm
let
saying.
me just take this. Good evening. You're on the air.
Good evening, Webbo. And good evening to the panelists there.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Now, the monkey problem is a serious problem in the Federation. Think it, Nevis. And I believe that the only way you can get rid of the monkey problem, we can't kill all. We got to kill up the monkey population. We got to kill up the population. Because what happens that if you don't kill up the population, you will always get where we get in. Monkey gonna come destroy, monkey gonna reach all over. Monkey gonna all down by the best show and all over the place. So we just got to come together and get some of these monkeys, find wherever market you could do for them. Maybe we slaughter them and make food for dog, and different things that people eat monkey, there's a monkey dish and all these things. So we got to do something to eliminate some of these monkeys. That is only how I believe that we're going to get rid of the monkey problem if we will eliminate some of them.
How?
Because it's terrible. We can't plant nothing for monkey. In your backyard, wherever, monkey come and pull them up. You got banana tree, and the banana tree, if you don't put a bag on it or something on it, monkey come bite them, they fully bite them, and they just bite them and they come back, you know. That's how bad a Wilfred monkey do, you know. Yeah, man, monkey really stressful. He examine them. Monkey just biting them and throw them down on the ground. All right, then, good, interesting program. Good night, gentlemen.
Okay, thank you.
I think, Webbo, that we know that we need to get rid of the monkey to lessen the population, the monkey population. But I think the real question here is how. How are we, what's the best way of going about reducing the monkey population? I think that is what is beating us as a people, the how. We know why we have to reduce the monkey population. The reason why we're going to enjoy the fruits of our labor. But how? How are we going to go about it? That is what beating us. We have a lot of farmers here. We have a lot of agriculture personnel. A lot of persons who went abroad and study agriculture. I don't know if this is a part of it, but I believe that monkey can be deemed as a pest. And if it is a pest, how can we get rid of a pest such as the monkey? Is the how is that is, you know, really get us in our throats, so to speak. And I believe that when we could answer that part of the question, then is when we're going to be successful as farmers, as a people, I want to believe.
For sure, and I'm glad we are talking about it. And even those that have called in and just give little ideas that they say they have, you know, seen some success with, that is very important to me, because even though it's on a small scale, maybe we can set up some form of sprinkling with the same solution on a wider scale. And so, I mean, these ideas, you know, as trivial as they might sound, they are very important. And I think that's exactly what we need to have. People calling in with ideas, because the question of how still remain. It's not even the best way, but it's a way, you know, an effective way. Because to me, it's almost crisis situation to me, to be quite honest with you, because I go down in Charlestown Market, you can't get a soursop. You look around, so many soursop trees on this island, and so many young soursop on the tree. But where do they go, you know? And so we have a problem. We have a problem. We have a problem. I mean, I'm not a farmer, but I'm a fruit lover, you know, and I want to eat local fruits, and so it becomes my problem in a very, very, very serious way. And so I would encourage, you know, the administration, island administration, governments to really be prepared to deal with this menace, because it is, as I've said earlier. I know a friend he's been planting eggplant, what we call tuber eggplants. I think I have almost 1,000 stem that, you know, foods as they come out on the tree. The monkey just destroy it, and all he's left with is that little knob-like thing, you know, and he's storing it. He's going to take it to agriculture department, but you know, it is a problem, a major problem. And so, even though we are endowed with a lot of fruits on island, we are not eating any fresh fruit at all. It's impacting on the health of the people. It is, you know. and it will continue, and we will probably be seeing more of a worse situation going forward as it relates to the health of the people, because the fruits that we're getting from foreign, and to talking about expense, a little bit of grapes for like $12. I mean, when you open the pack, they're all mushy, softy. I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if those who deal with that aspect of things in government allow these people to put these things on the shelves. But at the same time, we must eat some fruits anyway, and so we have a problem. We have a major problem with these monkeys.
Well, we have the 2, 3, or 4 gallon spray pan. It takes some energy and, of course, time, but we probably can mix a batch, water and pepper, bird pepper, and spray all these little.
Well, I mean, whatever the solution, a solution is widely sought after right now, and it doesn't matter how it may sound.
Yeah.
If it's solving that problem, we probably just got to see it or magnify it, and find ways of applying it. It's major.
The lady who called in, and this is just an idea, that I have a spray pan, which means to get rid of the bee bush, well, not get rid of them, they're there, but to control the growth of the bee bush, we spray them. We spray the bee bush. Now, if we use that same quantity, mix it with bird pepper, and
was it black pepper she said?
Well, she said pepper sauce, black pepper. But of course, we don't make black pepper. It means that you'll have to buy from the store, and maybe the finished product, the end product, for you to get a pomegranate or
those are expensive too.
Yeah.
Those are, because both that and the soursop, it is said to have properties in them that that can help to treat cancer patients.
So if we decide on a solution, we have to cultivate a lot of bird pepper.
And I haven't seen bird pepper in abundance.
Yeah,
I haven't seen them in a while, for real. So I guess the next best thing to do is to go with the black pepper. I think black pepper is reasonable.
That is not something that we produce.
But how many things that we produce realistically in St. Kitts Nevis, Mr. Stanley?
Well, I understand that. But what I'm trying to say is we have to buy it from the store and do the application regarding the spraying. But if we are to find black pepper, bird pepper,
where are we going to find them in that quantity?
Well, the longest journey begins with the first step, and therefore it means that we have to now set up a system to cultivate enough black pepper, bird pepper, eventually to add.
And how long that would take?
Listen, I just mentioned the longest journey begins with the first step.
I understand that, Stanley, but the point I'm trying to get at here is that
you're looking for a quick solution.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily. We want a solution that is not too far down the road, Because if it is too far down the road, then what we have, what we are trying to cultivate, would just vanish even before, 2 rows of bud pepper is being harvested. That's the point I am trying to bring here. So in the interim, we must find, a solution, not necessarily a quick fix, so to speak. We want a lasting solution. But how many bird peppers would it take, for example, to the 4-gallon pan that you alluded to, the spray pan that you alluded to, and how long it would take to harvest that quantity to do maybe just 1 acre?
Well, like I said, the application of the bird pepper is just an idea I came up with. And I'm saying to you, the longest journey begins with the first step. And if you are able to understand what I'm saying, you would begin to put in place the application.
There is a degree of urgency here, obviously.
And that is what I'm saying. In the interim, I am not saying that we shouldn't cultivate the bud pepper, but what I'm saying, in the interim, we could and should use what is readily available. So what we have as seedlings to come up, we would be able to protect them, to preserve them, so they could bear fruits. That is what I'm saying, until we would have reached a stage so we can cultivate enough bud pepper, to suffice.
That's the last word. This program repeats tomorrow at 10 o'clock following the VON News Minute. Join the Honorable Mark Brantley tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock for On the Mark. Join Keith Scarborough on Thursday evening at 8 o'clock right here on the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse for Government at Work. A place to spend all of your evenings right here in the Eastern Caribbean's Powerhouse. Thank you all again for joining us. This is your voice in the community talk that get results. You all have a wonderful evening.
The views and opinions expressed on the preceding program are solely those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Nevis Broadcasting Company Limited or its advertising.
With all the power from the tower, this is the powerhouse of the Eastern Caribbean, VON Radio, from the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.